Thanks.
Okay. I was asking if they like the chairs or they want to stand. All right, so I will start out with just a few questions, just a couple questions, because we have a nice stack of great questions already, and I know that probably folks have more coming. So I'm going to, first question for both candidates is if you could please articulate for us, what would you call your top 3 priorities, and why are those your priorities? And there's so many issues I know there are to work on at the Capitol. So maybe Nate first, and then we'll reverse order after that.
Sure. Great. So my top 3 priorities, I kind of outlined these already, but going back to expand on them a little bit. I think healthcare is a huge issue because the costs are rising so much. So many people are going bankrupt when they have medical expenses because health insurance is just a huge barrier to entry. Even if people purchase health insurance, they often aren't able to pay the deductibles when they go and visit a doctor for preventative care, which is the most effective kind of care. It keeps people healthy and it's cheaper. So I will work really, really hard to make sure that everybody in the state knows that we can do the right thing and give everybody health care, and we are going to save money by doing so. We shouldn't do this because we're going to save money. We should give health care to all people because it's the right thing to do, but we also will save a lot and help our budget in the future. That will also lead to the creation of a lot of jobs, which is another priority of mine, because so many people are afraid of starting their own business or leaving where they're working now because they will lose their health care benefits. So that's also in part a job creation program, which in terms of respecting workers is really important. People who work should not be afraid of losing their job because they'll also lose their health care. People should have access to health care at all times. I guess my 3rd priority after health care and economic creation is education. We have been borrowing from our schools to fix our budget problems. This budget surplus that we just have needs to go back to paying those debts that we've taken out from our children. That needs to happen right away, because I know that borrowing money isn't free. Our schools are going to become less efficient because of the borrowing costs that they're having to do to meet their budget needs now, and we need to make sure that we're fully funding public schools, respecting our teachers, and respecting our students.
I have, speaking to delegates, I've heard time and time again that the motto, we do better when we all do better. Jobs is something that I am passionate about. That is, like I said, it's a pathway to economic and social justice. And how do we help people to get jobs? I mean, we can pass a bonding bill, we can leverage federal funds, we can provide training, but how do we get people so that they're in a place where they can keep those jobs? And that's something that I understand about. I'm sorry, this thing is not. First, it's about education first, about training, and about having access to affordable housing and transportation. How do people get to those jobs? How do they? I mean, I grew up in a place where the per capita, my family grew up in, and where my relatives live, where the per capita is just a little over $3,000 a year. And when a person gets a job, their first paycheck could be like half of their entire income, and that's enough for them to live off of for the entire year. And the same thing, it's on a bigger scale, but in our communities, getting, people, it's unacceptable that people are living in poverty, that they're living in substandard housing, that they don't have opportunities for education. We spent way too much money on college education and only a small fraction on vocational training. And I want to change that.